Yo, what's going on, Jungle Cats? Got us here, coming back to you in the new year. I hope everyone had happy holidays and New Year. Yeah, we're jumping back into it with a couple new videos. I am putting together some beginner guide videos, and I thought it'd be a good idea to first make a video tier list about where I think all the Pokemon stand. I'm gonna break it up by their energy types, so it's a little bit easier if you want to like jump around, or if you're building a specific type of deck or looking for a specific type of Pokemon, you can jump from section into section. I'm gonna try to keep this as concise as possible, so hope you enjoy. We're gonna be jumping right into it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be having tons of videos coming out. There's a lot coming in the game that we're super excited about, so definitely tune in and check out our live streams as well. I typically live stream like 2 to 3 times a week. If you want to catch me outside of the videos, I'll leave a link down below. Deuces. All right, number 1, the original Pidgey. Now, I probably have to say, since the new Pidgey came out, this one just doesn't hold up a lot. I have really not been playing it. I think it's still a decent card, and it leads into the Pidgey outline, so I won't say F, but definitely drop down a bit. Pidgeotto, I think, is a pretty solid card. It doesn't stand super strong with a lot of the other stage 1 Pokemon. It only does 30 damage, but it can be played in a lot of different decks. It's in the Pidgey outline, so I think it's pretty good. Rattata, and I guess we'll just do Raticate. I never really play these. I like tried them at the start of the game. I haven't played them too much. They're pretty basic stat lines. I think Raticate's a little bit better than Rattata, but I'd probably put them D and C. Spearow and Pharaoh. Pharaoh's actually pretty decent with Drill Run. I typically don't. They're pretty base stat lines as well. The Spearow, so I'd probably have to pair that down here in D. The Drill Run ability can be pretty helpful. It's nice to be able to remove energy. It's not the strongest ability, but it is 50 damage. I'm gonna put it like low B. The original Jigglypuff, it really just doesn't hold up. I actually honestly think it's like worse than some of these other base Pokemon just because you need 2 energy on it. Typically, you don't want to have a base Pokemon with 2 energy. It really slows down your progress in the game, and a lot of matches can be super quick. So this can just set you behind. I'd probably set it at low D as well. Wigglytuff, base Wigglytuff, actually pretty decent. It does require 2 energy, but it has a good amount of health and it does a good amount of damage. It's not strong, but I think it's definitely better than people give it credit for. I don't think anyone really ever plays it. All right, Persian. Persian, I think, is a pretty strong card. It's only one of the only cards that allows you to discard your enemy's hand, which can be super powerful. You do have to flip for that, and it is not super consistent just because it is flips. But usually people are not expecting to lose a card from their hand, and when they do, it can be super detrimental. You can wipe out evolution that they have going on, or take away one of their really helpful supporter item cards that they're relying on. So I do think it is pretty good. Also coming off of Meowth is pretty good. I'll put it like high B. Farfetch'd. Farfetch'd is a really good card. Very versatile. Does a lot of damage. I guess the only really con is that it doesn't evolve into anything. Yeah, some people I feel like would put Farfetch'd S. I don't know if it's quite there. I think it's good, but I think it does have like some limitations with deck building. Doduo and Dodrio. Honestly, these are kind of making me like rethink the Rattata and Raticate. I feel like these kind of could be put in F tier. I just don't ever use them. They're like the same stat lines, but yeah, I'm gonna move these around, move these down. Doduo in F tier, Dodrio in D tier. I mean, the benefits of Dodrio and Raticate, that they're versatile and you only need like 1 energy. But other than that, I don't think really they hold up at all because they don't evolve any further, and that's all you're really getting out of them. You might as well just be playing Farfetch'd at this point. Farfetch'd does the 40 damage and doesn't require them to evolve. So yeah, I never play these. Yeah, not much else to say besides that. Lickitung. Lickitung's the GOAT. Can do the highest potential damage in the game. S tier, great card. Genghis Khan. I'd probably put this like about with Farfetch, maybe like just under, just because it's slightly less consistent, but has the potential to do 60 damage on your first attacking turn, which is really good. Also has a little bit more health with 100 HP. Honestly, pretty solid. Tauros, the base Tauros. I don't really use it that much. I tried it out when the game first started. I think it's fine. It is nice to have a solid stat line at a basic Pokemon. So I might put it actually right above Wigglytuff. It's pretty solid, does require 2 energy and 2 retreat, but with like Leaf being around now, you don't really mind that as much anymore. Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking about maybe playing this more. It could potentially be higher. Maybe like a B or something like that. Or just like a good starting card. You know, honestly, I'm gonna put it low B. Because you don't need to evolve it at all. Aerodactyl, base Aerodactyl. Also S tier, I'd have to say. Just a really good card. This is honestly probably one of my favorite cards in the game. I mean, it's just hilarious that your opponent can have like a fully energized Pokemon and you can just put it back into their deck and you can just win with Aerodactyl if they only have 1 card out. Honestly, it's one of the funnest cards to play. All right, Minccino, pretty basic Pokemon. I might consider it slightly stronger than these other ones we have in D tier, just because Cinccino is a pretty decent card. Cinccino is basically like Pikachu for more versatile decks or like a budget Pikachu EX. I mean, you do have to evolve from Minccino, so there's a slight downside. It doesn't matter the type of Pokemon that are benched. You can have any type of Pokemon. So I think this card is good for flexibility. It's not super strong and you do have to like draw 2 cards to kind of set it up and also put 3 energy on it. So there are specific builds that you need to have. I would put it maybe right above Persian, honestly. Put it like upper B. All right, next we have Wooloo and Double. I think these cards are decent. They're kind of like a good replacement for Snorlax. So if you're trying to like stall out a little bit, I think they're competitive with Snorlax. Like both have their benefits. Snorlax, you don't have to evolve, but with this, you're able to start attacking a little bit sooner. So I have tried out this line before with like Dragonite. Why don't I just put Snorlax in? Probably have to put these pretty close. Honestly, I'll put them top of C tier. Yeah, I think they're good stallers, but typically you are going to be losing them. You're going to be losing a point. The other benefit for Double is that you can retreat out a little bit easier. Snorlax is a hefty retreat cost. All right, next we got the new Pidgey. I think this is a really solid card. I use this every time over the other Pidgey. The main reason I kind of am putting it like A tier, maybe I should put it like high B tier, is just because it's in the Pidgey outline and it's just a solid stat line for that. I think this pairs really well with the old Pidgeotto. All right, the new Pidgeotto though, I really don't like. You never really get the 3 energy on it. You always kind of like have Pidgeotto before you have the 3 energy on it. So I don't think it's that good. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll put it a little bit higher because it is a decent stat line. I just think not super great. Tauros, the new Tauros, pretty good. Most of the time I just prefer to play Mew over this, but I still think it's decent. I'd probably put it above Pharaoh, maybe like mid B. The new Eevee, we have a lot of Eevees to do. At first I really liked the new Eevee, but it just feels like so inconsistent to me. I don't think I can put it higher than the new Tauros, honestly. It just sometimes falls flat and you just hit like a bunch of tails in a row and you didn't do any damage. Yeah, I would probably put like mid B tier. Let's just do like the rest of the Eevees as well. I mean, I'd probably have to put most of the Eevees like close to each other. My actual personal preference is now the original Eevee, just because it's consistent 20. And I'd probably say the promo Eevee would be right under that. Might be a hot take, but I just like the consistency of it better. And the Growl Eevee is kind of for like specific play style, specific type of decks. So if you are trying to reduce the amount of damage on your Pokemon, like maybe you don't want to have as much damage on your Vaporeon or Flareon or Jolteon when you finally evolve to it. Could be something to keep in mind for the new Eevee that just came out. Chat, it's pretty good, pretty solid card. I'd probably put it right above Persian. I kind of like it a little bit better than Meowth. I think it can be really good if you get it late game. Like say you're up a point or something like that, you don't mind dropping a point and you don't have any cards in hand and your enemy has like a lot of cards. It can just like fill up your hand instantly and then maybe you lose a point for that, but it really like helps you catch up. It's also just good early game as well, but just kind of draw dependent. All right, the base Pidgeot, I'm gonna have to put this like top of A tier, pretty close. You know what? I'm gonna put it S tier. Maybe this is a hot take, but I'll put it S tier, and I'll explain why right now, because it's basically a Sabrina for you. So like every turn you get a Sabrina, and Sabrina is such a good card. Just being able to control like where their Pokemon are and do that every turn is kind of busted. On top of that, you can attack with it. It can be in any type of deck. I really think it's a solid card. Yeah, I don't even feel bad putting it at S tier. The other two S tiers here are kind of jokes, but that one's serious. All right, Wigglytuff EX. I probably put this like top of A tier. I think it can go in a lot of different type of decks, and once you get it out, it can be super annoying for your enemies. It sleeps their Pokemon every turn, so they have to flip, and people don't really like flipping. Just a good card. Meowth. I used to like Meowth a lot more. I honestly don't really use Meowth that much anymore. I think Sigalith kind of replaced Meowth in Mewtwo decks. And I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of other cards you can play instead of Meowth. Ditto is a pretty meme card. I think Ditto's pretty fun to play, but I've tried it out in so many decks. It just always kind of falls flat. I'd maybe actually even like put it top of D tier, but I'll be nice. I'll put it at the bottom of C tier. Porygon, same thing. I've tried it in a lot of decks. I just don't think it's that great. Most abilities in this that have been released so far are pretty solid. Porygon's ability is just like not good. You can only look at one card, and it's just never really helpful. I'm gonna put it in F tier. It's probably gonna change when you have Porygon 2. I think Porygon 2 is probably gonna be pretty good, but okay, maybe I'll put it bottom of D tier because it could have potential. We're not giving up with it yet. All right, Pidgeot EX. I would love to put this in S tier, but I'm gonna put it in A tier. Maybe I'll put it above Wigglytuff. I think it just has a lot of HP, and it can put down 140 damage, and you have flutes you can play with it to make sure that you're doing like 120, 140 damage. And honestly, this has like been my favorite card of recently. I think it's one of the most powerful EX Pokemon out there and super underrated. And yeah, you can just play it in any deck, which is good. Chansey's like pretty in line with Snorlax. I would put it there. And then the promo Jigglypuff, I would probably put, yeah, like bottom of A tier. I think it's a good starting card. It's great for decks that need a little bit of time to build up, like Dragonite. Yeah, that sleep ability is super helpful. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done that already. We also stream twice a week, so check out our Twitch down in the description below. If you want to check out any of the other energy types, then I'll also have those linked down below. I'll be releasing those over the next couple days. Deuces.